YouTube, what is going on, gang? bgrant44 back here again today with another banger. Today in this video I want to go over everything Warzone 2.0 that I think everyone needs to know if they did not catch today's events. And there's so much to take in, but I'm really just covering what I think are keynotes. You know, looting, the actual map, different POIs, the plating system, all kinds of new movement mechanics, and the new loadout change, new storm dynamics. There's so much to take in, so look, go ahead and get comfortable, get ready to watch this, lock it in. If you're new to the channel, you enjoy the content, hit that sub button, man. Crush that like button. Let's get right into the breakdown, gang. Alright, gang, here we go. So this is the new Warzone map. I think it's absolutely stunning. Along with this Warzone map, we get a bunch of new POIs that are Modern Warfare 2 POIs, as in old Modern Warfare 2. So, like right here, this is actually from Terminal. It's an old MW2 map. This is another scene of airport right here of Terminal, which everyone knows this iconic spot. You got the little restaurant back here, the stairs, ladders, outside. High Rise is in the new map as well, which it's unbelievable. This is Observatory, which actually on the back side of Observatory, this dome right here is the map dome from MW3, which is an iconic map. And just the flow of this map so far today has just been nuts. Here's another angle we have going into the city. Unreal. So the biggest thing I'm noticing today with this map and this layout, this is a hill right here. Observatory is kind of a little mountainous hill, but it's nothing like Caldera. Al-Mazrah, I'm gonna butcher that 1,000 times, I'm sure. I'm just gonna call it Al-Maz. On Al-Maz, it's very flat. Like, it's definitely got the Verdansk vibes. Verdansk had mountains, 100%. It had very big hills. And this is that same vibe, but it's a Middle Eastern vibe. So a lot of desert, a lot of dust, a lot of sand. You know, you see a little bit of green here, which, you know, there's a little bit of grassy areas, but not like fields, you know, in Verdansk. But another thing you'll notice on this map, there's a bunch of water, which leads to one of the first big movement mechanics. You can swim in this game. There is absolute swimming. You can shoot your weapons underwater, so you can't shoot your primaries, but you can shoot your secondaries, so your pistols, you can absolutely let it loose. But if you need to take cover, you can dive under the water. The deeper you go, the less damage a bullet will do to you. Also, the deeper you go, the more murky, the more blurry your screen will get, so it's harder to see targets in the water. It's a pretty good way to get away. If you need to dive down deep and just start swimming, trying to get away, people are gonna have a hard time seeing you. You definitely can make escapes, which I think is awesome. But also, that being said, there's boats all throughout the map. You can take boats all the way up through these main streams, and there's different ways to counter boats, like floating proximity mines, shot grenades, shock sticks. Pretty wild. But moving on from this, we have the new zone mechanic. So the zone does not start off like what you see here. The zone starts off as one big circle, but there's a new dynamic. It's not gas anymore, it's actually a dust storm. It's like a giant tornado. And there's a chance that the safe zone splits into multiple circles. It can split up to 4 zones. Each zone is slowly gonna get smaller and smaller until it's at the final zone. And when you get to your final zone, all of the zones will emerge into one ring for one last epic battle. So if you have, you know, let's say this zone has 1 team left, this one has 3, and this one has 2, and then the zones start moving. It's just all out warfare, and then everyone collides in the middle. I think that is one of the most brilliant things I've ever brought to Warzone as a change of pace. It's very crazy to think about that dynamic. Battle royales have been very cookie cutter for a long time. It's one zone and it closes, and then you have your last fight and that's it. But this dynamic right here, you never know what you're getting into, because you don't know how good the other people are in the zones. You don't know if they're camping. Usually in one circle, and let's say there's 3 teams left. Well, you might know one's camping on top of a mountain, and you might know the other team's kind of being a little aggressive, pushing you. Well, if you have 3 separate zones, you don't know how good these players are going to be. It's just a whole new level of excitement. I think this might be the battle royale that might get people's hearts pumping again. You know, that feeling where it's like few teams left, you're about to get the dub, and that energy's kicking in. You know, your heart's just pounding. I think this is a dynamic that will bring that back. I'm extremely excited about it. One con to this I've thought about already though. What if you get caught in a zone? Like me, I like to frag out. I like to get a bunch of kills. You already know, gang, I drop the classes, we drop the big bombs, big 30s. But what if you get in a zone where there's not many people and you're like stuck there all game? That could be lame, but I feel like with gas masks, stim shots, you know, you might be able to cross from zone to zone. If you're in this zone and not much is popping off, you get a UAV and you see this zone is just pumping, you could cross that gap, I'm sure. People are definitely going to make that play. I would not be surprised to see that play in the future. Moving on, we are going to go over here to looting. So this is a regular Warzone chest. Whenever you're in Warzone and you hear a chest, you know, sitting there humming and you want to go to loot it, this is what you are greeted with. It's called a cache now, and there are 4 item slots. You can go through and, you know, you select your weapon, your ammo, but you don't just grab it all at once. In Warzone now, you open up a chest and all the loot just pours out on the ground. You can pick up what you want. I'm a fan of that. This is a lot different. This reminds me of Blackout. And Blackout, whenever you went to loot somebody, loot a chest, it was the same theory. You could take what you want, leave what you didn't. So I don't know, it definitely slows gameplay down. I think being able to just hit a crate, everything flies out, grab what you want and go, definitely speeds it up. I think this will slow it down, but I wouldn't be surprised in the future if they might change this with crates. In particular, looting players is the same way, I believe. It's all backpack based. Moving on from this, here's a new mechanic I want to talk about today. So I'm just going to keep this photo on the screen, but there's a bunch of new mechanics. First and foremost, slide canceling is gone. That's a thing of the past. There's no more slide canceling, and I saw a ton of people complaining about that today. But in reality, the people who are sitting here whining about slide canceling, one, either just learned how to do it, or two, they're the people who think they're breaking cameras, but they're not. Slide canceling is so overplayed and it's boring at this point in the game. I've been slide canceling in Warzone for what, 3 years now? I'm over that. Like I'm tired of that mechanic. I want that gone. So for me, slide canceling being gone is great. The upside to slide canceling now is dolphin diving. You can dolphin dive and it's very effective. You can actually dive, get up and dive again. So if you really need to get out of an area pretty quick, you can do that. That's a feasible option. In this photo right here, you'll notice this player is hanging. He has a secondary in his right arm hanging on the left. It's a new parkour mechanic. You can jump up on a ledge, grab it with your arms, pull out your gun if you want to, and then progress to pull yourself up, or you can just hang and crawl around. You can shoot while hanging as well, which unbelievable. I feel like this is going to open up a new dynamic for people who might be roof camping. You climb your way up and you're hanging on the roof and you tell your homies like, hey, put pressure on, and when they're distracted you can pull yourself up and shoot. Definitely unique. I'm glad that we're starting to see different mechanics like this in Warzone. I think it's very overdue. There's too much terrain in a Warzone map to not have a mechanic like this, especially with this new map. If we'll go back over to that photo right quick of the different POIs. This modern city is absolutely full of buildings. I mean, you can see it everywhere. Even like hydroelectric, there are buildings all over this map. And whenever you get caught in these areas, to be able to actually hang, you know, and get extra peaks, anything to help give you peekers advantage is going to be huge in a map like this. So I'm definitely excited to see that coming in this game. This is what the first zone looks like. This goes back to what we had talked about recently with multiple zones. It starts off as one circle, and again, it's not every game that it's multiple zones. It's an event. It's at random. I think that's brilliant. They should keep that how it is. I think that's perfect for a random event. This is your backpack. You got your money, your plates, ammo. This is your primary, like, you know, your grenades, whatever. And then you have 2 separate equipment slots. So this, in this instance, this is a stim pack. So this is another form of a heal. And then you have a shock stick, which is like almost like the, what did they call those things? They were like the little electro sticks from, I guess they had them in Modern Warfare 2019. Maybe they did. If not, it's way back in the day. But it's like a throwing knife that's electric, essentially, and can shut down a vehicle, fry somebody. I noticed today someone got hit with one and their gun started shooting. So that's a little bit of that realistic mechanic we're gonna start seeing in Warzone. You gotta think, when you get shocked, I don't know if anyone watched these videos ever been zapped before, but when you get shocked, it makes your muscles tense up. So your hands, you know, if you're getting zapped, your hands are gonna wanna curl up. If you're holding a gun, you're gonna pull the trigger. So it was pretty neat. He got shocked and his gun just went, you know, right up. So that was pretty cool. Other than that, we have our 2 guns. We got our primary stun grenade, our primary Simtex or whatever grenade you want, and then we have our plates here. This in the backpack up top, this is just reserve. Like, this is everything you have in your back pocket essentially. You can carry 2 separate types of grenades. Let's say you have a Simtex here, you can put a frag grenade here. You can swap those out. You can swap out, you know, let's say a tomahawk or a throwing knife or stun grenade if it's in the backpack. So the backpack dynamic's cool. You can carry multiple types of loot, reserve ammunition. I definitely think that's a dub. That's another thing that they used to have in Blackout. It plays well. At first it took a little bit to get used to in Blackout, but you get used to it and you forget about it. It's just like anything else, any of these games. At first you're like, how am I ever gonna learn this? You keep playing it and then eventually it's just secondhand nature. And that I really think that sums it up to a T. I mean, that we got map movements, looting mechanics. That's Warzone 2 in a nutshell. The only thing I can recommend you guys do now, go watch some gameplay. If you haven't done yourself the favor of watching gameplay, go pick your favorite streamer, go watch the gameplay. All right, gang. Look, if you're new to the channel, you enjoyed the content, you enjoyed these types of videos, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit that sub button, crush that like button. Gang, I will catch you all tomorrow for another heater. Thank you all so much for the love and support. Let's get it, gang.